Everybody, welcome back to part 13 of the Pet Adoption app. Here we're going to create a dashboard for the user. So all users who are logged in, they need to have a dashboard. So in order to create a dashboard for the user, we need a view. So we need the mydomain.com/dashboard. So to have that view, we obviously need this model view controller. Ruby on Rails that's a structure, it's model view controller. So we obviously need a controller. If you come back to Visual Studio Code, you're going to notice that inside the controllers, we don't have a controller code. We do not have a user's controller. We have a user's model. We have a user's, we have views for the users, which is obviously that we got through devise when we installed the devise gem, but we don't actually have a controller called users. We never created one. So what I need to do right now is I want to make sure that whenever I'm in pet adoption or whatever, .com/profile localhost 3000 / I want to have dashboard. So in order to create that, we need a controller. So I'm going to explain a little further after I run this command. So here we're going to do a Rails G for generate controller followed by space. I'm going to name my controller users, which is obvious. Users with a capital, the first letter is capital users, followed by space, followed by dashboard. And the reason why I'm calling it dashboard is because I want to have a dashboard view. I want to have a dashboard action. So I want to be able to have a dashboard action. Okay, so in that dashboard action, basically what that's going to do is I'm going to hit enter now. And what you're going to notice now, a user's controller is going to be created, but followed by something else, very important. Okay, so it's right here. So if you go to the controllers, you're going to notice that I have a user's controller. And if I click on that, it's going to open the user's controller. And in it, you're going to see this dashboard method. So in here, I can do whatever I want. I can add all kinds of code inside of this method whenever the user is inside the dashboard, is in the dashboard view, or if I want to put whatever logic I want to put, I can put it inside this dashboard. Now, because we said that we want a dashboard action, okay, so the user's controller is basically it is what it is. It's controlling the dashboard, the user's controller. So whenever I want to build something in the user's controller in the dashboard view, I'm going to come to the user's controller. Okay, so and because we said that we want the action to be dashboard, you can come here to views and you will see inside the users folder, just how we have devise, layouts, pages shared. Inside the users folder, we have a dashboard html.erb. So that said, I want you to come back here to guides.rubyonrails.org. So in the future, when you want to create a controller, I want you in Ruby on Rails, come to guides.rubyonrails.org, and you're going to understand so much more. So do a command F and type in, and I want you to type in controller. Control there. It's going to take you to controllers. I want you to click on action here, Ruby on Rails routing. That's not action controller overview. So when you come to the action controller overview, you're going to notice over here that they're giving you information. They're saying, look, this is a client's controller. We're using a user's controller. And here, obviously, this new would have been if you just typed in I think if you just do it, if you just say, hey, I want to Rails generate controller users, it would have by default a new. But if you said Rails generate controller users my account, it would have a method here called my account. Okay, so that's how it works. So inside of here, for instance, this method here, def new. This method here is running at client equals client.new. So if you had a client model, a client table, in our case, we have a users table and a users model. Here we would say like at users, at user equal users, equals users.new. Okay, so you would create a new user or a new pet, at pet equals pet.new. So this is instantiation, right? And then you have something called strong parameters. Strong parameters is extremely important, guys. Whenever you I just want to let you know, whenever you're creating a controller in order to update information, because obviously we have to create an update method. That's the purpose of having a dashboard. What's the point of having a dashboard without an update method? Like in the dashboard, you're going to have to add a pet. You're going to have to update your information, your profile information. You're going to have to update a pet status. Perhaps one of the dogs got adopted now. So you have to say it's, this dog is no longer available for adoption, or this dog got sick, or this dog now is well. So you have to update, you have to create. So new, update, these are important methods, and that's why when you come here, you're going to notice that there's a lot of things here that are really, really important to follow. So strong parameters. Strong parameters is really important. So here I want you to do a Command F and type in strong parameters, and you'll see it showing up in many different places, but you'll also see it, just keep searching and you'll see it right here. Okay, so you can click on strong parameters, and over here it's saying, first of all, so yeah, so strong parameters here is saying, look, this is private. And here we have person parameters and require, params.require. Guys, please don't get bored. This is person, this is person and permit name and age. So over here, it's saying like you can only update, or you can only update, you permit this person to only mess around with name and age. Okay, so that's what strong parameters is for, so that I can only update or create or modify name and age. Okay, so strong parameters, whenever you're creating a controller, the first thing you want to think about is what's the purpose. The purpose is for me right now, for us right now, is to create a dashboard, to be able to update, to be able to create. Okay, for us anyway, for now. And then I want you to memorize this strong parameters right away. So that's what we're gonna do. I want you to come back and type in devise, and then after that type in gem. So over here, you're gonna come here, and I want you to, this is what we've been working on the whole time. Type in Command F and go to, actually no, Command F before action, before underscore action, before action, and just click over here. So here, there's something called the controller filter and helpers, okay? So before action, authenticate user. Before you do anything, make sure that the user is authenticated. This is just coming from here. And if you come to Rails, over here, you're gonna do Command F and type in filters. It's actually called a filter. Okay, so just remember the keywords, because if you remember the keywords, you have no problems in doing redirect, log filtering, parameters filtering. Okay, so I don't want to waste your time here, but please just go through the filters. I know there's a lot of I understand there's a lot, there's just so much of this filters. Just click filters here. So there you go, that's all I wanted to show you guys. So here we have an application controller, but this could be for any controller. Okay, before action, require login. Okay, and then over here it says before action, authenticate user, because device uses authenticate user. Okay, so I'm going to grab this here, copy that. I'm going to copy this completely, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come straight into the user's controller. I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste it in. So I'm going to say before action, authenticate the user. So we have a dashboard controller. We have a dashboard action, which means that we have a dashboard method. And we also have this before action, authenticate user. So believe it or not, if I was to do a Command S to save it, and I was to do Rails S like that, I could actually go to dashboard right now. I could literally go to dashboard because my routes was automatically updated when I created the controller. Definitely it's been added. For sure it's been added. Of course it's been added. So if I type in, dashboard, here, I should have a page. I should have a page called dashboard. Let's come here and have a look. Well, anyway, before we even check this view in the controller, actually, let me just come to config, environments, routes.rb. All right, so actually, so here we don't have, here, okay, we have get dashboard. Okay, so Yeah, because it's users dashboard, right? So if we came here and we typed in users / dashboard, it should work. Okay, there you go. So there is the view that we created. That is the view that we created. And believe it or not, that view is coming straight from users dashboard. And that's why here it says get users dashboard, because that was the action that we set it to be. And users controller, we can do what we want here inside the users controller. Okay, so before action authenticate user means that, okay, so I'm going to add another method here. So here I'm going to call this method, I'm going to call it update, right? Update, I'm going to hit and do end. And if you actually stop this video and you went back to Ruby on Rails guides and you went back to controllers without the filters, if you just removed, if you just went back, just go to the controllers overview, you're going to notice there's so many types of methods. There's create, there's update, there's new. Yeah, so we could do what we want to do here. We could do what we want. So right now, what I want to do is I want to literally make sure that, so what's associated with the user? All right, with the user, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of, so let's come back here to parameters, Command F, strong parameters, click on strong parameters. And here we have strong parameters that say, look, we have person params. Ours is going to be, I'm going to name ours current user params. Okay, so that's what we need to do. We need to add, and here, look here, there you go. That's where I got this from. So we can just even grab this whole thing and copy that, come over here, and I just want you to remember, you don't have to memorize this, but you have to know where to get it. So strong, whenever you think of controllers, always think of strong parameters. Think of before action, login user or authenticate user or whatnot. That's called filters. And then you need to view, and then you check out your views. What view do you want to show your user, or your what view you want to show your user? So so we have here, so this would obviously, let's just leave this alone for now, but I want to leave it there for the purposes of you having something to see. Okay, and we're going to obviously modify it a little bit. So, and over here, we have a private method. I'm going to add a private method, and you can, again, I'm just doing what I'm seeing in Ruby on Rails guides. The only difference, I'm just modifying a couple little things. So here we have a def, right? And this is going to be our exactly what we saw earlier. So I'm going to call mine current underscore user underscore params, right? Current user params. I'm going to end this method, and inside of that method, I'm going to say, okay, so come back over here. So there we go. So we have, here, let's just grab this. And inside of here, I can say params.require, and here I'm going to say, instead of person, because we don't have a person, like, look, the reason why they're saying person here is because this controller is called people controller. And the plural version of people is not peoples. The plural version of people is person. So if I had here a user controller, it would be users, the plural. Okay. So if I had here, a home controller, because I want to add a home as a real estate agent, it would be home controller. But over here, they would use homes. They would use home, yeah. Okay, so that's what it is. It's just, okay, so, all right. So now over here, okay, so here I'm going to put in require. So I'm going to add the require user. Okay, so params.require user permit. What do we have? We have about. I want to be able to change my about, because we did add about. About is one of our fields inside our user table. We have language. Okay, what else do we have? We have about language. Let's come back to PG admin here, and let's view what we have. We have the other than the last three, which is for Facebook, image, UID provider, we have status, about, language, and organization, and full name. Okay, so so we have about, language, status, organization, organization, and yeah, we're not gonna change the full name. The full name, and the full name can be changed from the device view, so we don't need to add that stuff. So we have about, language, status, and organization. And actually, I'm going to remove organization from the device view, because this can be changed. Organization you should be able to change organization from your dashboard. So about, language, status, and organization. So this means that you're only allowed, as an authenticated user, we're only permitting to change these fields, okay? For now, okay? That's the only thing that we're allowed to change for now. And in regards to my update here, we have a local variable that is equal to the current account, which here will be like current user, current user. Dot current user dot yeah, well, the current user, we know what the current user is. In this case here, I don't need to do this. I can just do that. So at user, let's make this a global variable, at user equals current user. And that's all we need to do. Okay, now, okay, so at user equals current user. Okay. And yeah. And we need to pass, so we need to use, so, okay. So earlier, sorry. All right, so hang on a second. So earlier, if this was at user equals, so if we create a global variable at user equals current user dot user dot find params ID, that would work also. That would also work. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say at user, this variable is equals to the current user. Equals to the current user, like that. Okay, at user, this variable equals to the current user. And then I'm going to say, so I'm going to put an if else statement. So if else statement. Now remember this here at the bottom, we're just leaving it there just for some guidance. So if I'm going to take this variable, okay? So if it's current user, right? If current user, and then I'm going to say update attributes, okay? Dot update underscore attributes. So whenever you're creating it, so if you're learning programming right now, for now, to keep your sanity, just remember update attributes. Whenever you're creating whenever you're creating a controller to update information, okay? So if at user dot update attributes, and then you want to pass the current user. So you want to pass the current user params. Sorry, the current user underscore params. Okay. So in that case, do this. Do something else. Do this. Okay. So so do something else. Do that, like that. So and then it ends here. And then you obviously need to redirect to if at user dot, if the current user dot update attributes current parameters, we wanna let the user know that we have updated his or her information. So here you want to do a flash, because remember we we have naughty, right? So we can do a flash, and over here we're going to say notice, and that's the the key of naughty, right? And yeah, and we want to make it a value, to have a value of saved uh, saved successfully, saved successfully. Okay, so if the current user, because we took this global variable and we said if the current user, right? So this is equal to the current user. So whenever we do this, it really means the current user. So if the current user that update attributes current user parameters, all right, current user params, give that user a notice key, and that key is going to be equals to saved successfully. Else, we're going to do an alert. So we're going to do a flash, and inside of that, we're going to say alert, and make that equal to I don't know, unable to saved, or cannot, maybe oops, something went wrong. Oops, not oops, something went wrong. Did not update. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And once that's done, so this is exactly, so this would have been the same thing like over here. So that's what we did. We took this update, but earlier they had this by ID, which is fine too. You could still do it the way I picked it up from Rails. It's the same thing. Okay, so but this looks a bit cleaner. And in regards to so if the parameters are updated, show this. If they don't, oops, something went wrong. And then regardless of what happens, we want to redirect to dashboard, because we have a view, remember, dashboard underscore path. Whenever you create a view called, update, or a view with an action, obviously, whenever you create a controller with an action, it's going to create a view. And if you have a view and you have a controller, it means you have a path. And that's what it's called. It's called the dashboard path. If you stop the server and typed in rake routes, you're going to find dashboard path there. So redirect to the dashboard path. So whatever happens, keep that user in the dashboard. So whether that user adds a pet, whether that user updates here in our case, whether that user updates the about or language or status, and whether they fail or whether they successfully updated, just make sure that we get redirected regardless of what happens. Make sure they get redirected to the dashboard path. And that means that they have to stay in the dashboard path. Like they're not going to go back to home or whatever. Redirect the dashboard path. That's all that this is saying. So that's the update method. And then I'm just going to put some space there so that you could see. And here, so that ends that. And then just here, just want you to know that this is the private here. Just so I'm going to put some space here, so you know this is a private method. Okay, so and let's come back now to routes.rb. In routes.rb, we have users dashboard, but we don't want to have users dashboard. We want to actually make sure that we change that users, and we just make it directly to dashboard. So instead, we're going to remove that users dashboard, and we're going to leave it like that. So we're going to say this dashboard view, we want it, this dashboard route, hang on. So we're going to do to users dashboard. Okay. So we're going to get dashboard to users / dashboard like that. Right? Right. Okay. So after that, so that's the dashboard. So let's come back over here and type in routes. Okay, Command F, routes. I'm going to come back here. I'm just going to click back. I'm going to make sure I'm here. Command F, routes. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna remove this action controller overview and F routes. I'm gonna search for routes. What happened there? Rails routing. So Rails routing from outside action controller overview. Routing parameters. So come to routing parameters. So routing parameters. So get. So here we're saying get. So this is how you do, but I just want to get a. So routing. Okay, so another thing. All right, let's just come back here. I don't want to waste too much time. So I don't want to waste too much time. All right. So, but one thing I want to tell you is that in order to have it show up as dashboard, we need to ensure that. So the original one was you. Oh my gosh, hang on. The user's action. Okay, so that's the user's controller. We have the user's controller with the action dashboard. So get me dashboard, like mydomain.com/dashboard to this user's controller and this action. Okay. Next, what I want to do, come back to the user's controller, and then we have obviously the update. Okay, so the update action. Okay, so this means that the update action. My goodness. So the update action. So we come back to routes again, and we're gonna say post because we're updating. We're posting updates. Okay. Here we're just getting dashboard. We're just getting. Okay. But whenever you're updating something, it's gonna be post. So it's gonna be post /edit to, and then here we're gonna use the controller, the users, because obviously we're updating. We're gonna use update method that we created to users /update, because this is like update. This is not a view. Update is just post. It's posting information. It's posting. It's updating. Okay, that's all we need to know. Action. It's an action. I'm sorry. It's an action. So users action update. The action is update. Okay, so actually it's going to be like this, users edit, but this is actually no, I don't. Let's just try it now. Dashboard. Okay, so let's stop the server. Control C, do a Rails S, and this is gonna load now. Come back to pet adoption. Now, if we went to dashboard, if we removed users and we went just straight to dashboard, it will take us to dashboard. Perfect. And now if we, so so the user's edit is just going to be a post method. Okay, so remember that, and it's only gonna let me just come back here. Let me do a edit profile. Let's see what okay, that takes us to profile, so that's fine. Okay, so if we are logged out and I go to /dashboard like that, it's going to say you need to sign in before continuing. And the reason why it says you need to sign in before continuing is because we have in the user's controller, we're saying before action authenticate user. So if I was to remove this before action authenticate user and save it, and come over here and go to / I'm logged out, by the way. I'm logged out. Okay. If I go to /dashboard, I'm going to go to dashboard. I'll be able to access dashboard because I removed before action authenticate user. If I do this and I save it again and I try to go to dashboard, it's going to say, hey, you have to be able to log in. Okay, so just remember these things because these are pretty much basics of Rails and basics of most applications. Like 99% of the time, most apps, like this is really vital information. Like we have fields in our user table, in our model that we want to be able to update. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a quick coffee, or maybe I'll make this video short like that. Okay, and I'm going to call the next video styling our dashboard or something like that. Okay, because obviously it's going to take too long and these videos becoming boring. I want you to just please go over what I went through here, perhaps even try to change this here, like in regards to this global variable. Maybe we can use what they used in if you want to change it around and see if it's going to work or not. This is just for learning purposes, guys, so I just want you to go to Rails guides and there try to take one of the examples and see what happens. Yeah, and just remember the routes. The routes here it's referring to is because the Rails is saying, okay, it's saying first of all the route saying get dashboard. Okay, get dashboard, but what controller am I going to use to get dashboard? Like if you don't have this, here saying this here to the user's controller with dashboard action. Okay, and you want to mess around with the dashboard, you can put whatever you want, logic or whatever piece of code you want inside the dashboard method. Next, the routes is asking the user's update. The minute you go to the dashboard view and you update information like status, language, about, and you click update or you click the button update, it's going to take you to the user's edit. It's going to say, oh, look, get post the user's update. So get me that user's controller, that update method. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to work. You understand what I'm saying? Let's, from now on, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go get a coffee. See you guys in the next part. But before I go, I just want to do one more thing. In regards to logging in. So if I was to, I'm just going to log in right now. I'm going to log in as maria@gmail.com. I'm going to type in Carlos123. Let me just log in. So in regards to logging in, right. So here I am, but hang on. So let me just log out. And I'm going to click login again. Maria@gmail.com. Carlos123. So if I log in, it takes me to the home page. You see, when I log in, it takes me straight to the home page. So what I want to do now is I want to go to application controller, and after login, I want to be able, because this user here is with device, right? Remember, this user is with device. So I need to go to application controller and use a method. And I want to go to application controller and use a method to redirect the person logging in to the dashboard path, because there's no point of going to the home page and being logged in. You know, when you're like logged into like Airbnb, or if you're logged into booking.com or whatever, the minute you log in, you should be able to go to your dashboard where you can see your trips or whatnot. So come back to Visual Studio Code, and inside Visual Studio Code, you can find I think you can go to application controller. Okay, that's the main application controller. So over here under protected, okay, so before action, configure parameters, if device controller. So this is the parameters for device. So configure these parameters if it's the device controller. So under here, we're saying to device permit to do all this. Now over here, I'm gonna create a method, and this method you can get from device gem, and you can say Command F, redirect, I think it's redirect. Yeah, it's around redirect. So we have authenticate user. It's not redirect. Just hang on. Sign in. I think it's sign in path. I believe it's sign in. Command F, sign underscore in. Sign underscore in. Yeah. So you can also override after sign in path 4 and after sign in path, sign out path. So after they sign out, you can redirect them. And after they sign in, you can redirect them. So we can use this. We can take this command copy and then paste it in here just to see. Okay, so that's the only place. So this is what I want you to do. Grab this method here, command copy, come back over here, and we're gonna create a new method here. So, and we're gonna end it like that. And in here, we're gonna pass the params. Oh no, we're gonna pass the resource. Pass the resource, and inside we're gonna say dashboard underscore path, and dashboard path. So that way, after sign in path, so the minute they sign in, to take them to the dashboard path. Okay. So I'm gonna do Command S to save it. Come back, do Control C to stop the server, Rails S to start the server. And again, so just remember, whenever you create a controller, always think about why you're making it. The reason why I created a controller because I wanted to have a dashboard. So I created a dashboard action, and automatically Rails created a view for me. Okay, but because I'm using the user's controller, that view is using the user's folder, and inside there's a dashboard.html. And hence we have the, we used to have localhost 3000 /users /dashboard. And Rails also added dashboard to my routes, but not update. Okay. Why they didn't add update? Because we added update manually. I created this update manually, and I said, look, inside this user's controller, I want to be able to update the user. And I want this global variable to equal to current user because we're working with current user right now exclusively. That's what Devise's current variable is. It's current user. So if current user dot update attributes, and then I passed in the current user params, do this successfully. So anyway, so now our Rails server is running. I'm going to come back to pet adoption. I'm going to log out, and I'm logged out successfully. Now, if I log in, look, I'm in the home. I'm in like the home page. If I log in now and I type in maria@gmail.com and I type in Carlos123 and I click login, look, boom, I'm redirected to my dashboard. So next, I'm going to be styling the dashboard and adding all this information there. Okay, see you guys in part 14.